Good afternoon, good evening, whatever the hell you're listening to us. It's the Irish Fantasy Punts coming at you live again. Shane, Jamie, and Dan. Jamie, say hello first, and then Shane go after him.
What's up, guys? We're back. It's becoming a bi-weekly or bi-monthly podcast. Is it bi-monthly?
Dude, we
bi-weekly?
missed a week.
Bi-monthly?
We missed a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is it
Yeah, but like
2 weeks?
everyone's so sad now because they didn't get this last week.
All 33 people.
Yeah. Hey, there are good 33 people. Tell your
We love
friends
you
and
guys.
family. You tell your friends and family, you get free merch as soon as we hit a big.
The punters.
Hunters. I actually didn't bet much. Well, I did bet a little bit at the weekend. I bet a couple on horses on Aintree. I did Langer Dan won me 25 quid, and then I proceeded to lose all of that on Rachel Blackmore in the National.
Oh, bad choice, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think
it's just you have to bet on her when she's racing though, because she just stupidly wins these races, and then you're raging when she does because you're like, I should have backed her. It's obvious she was going to win that.
No, not with that, man. The Grand National is one of them great races that very few horses can repeat. Fair enough, jockeys will repeat if they're on good enough horses, obviously, but horses in general, like she sat up Manila Times again and it didn't look right. It didn't look like it was going to go her way. Even the betting suggested it wasn't going to go her way in the end. By the time the race took off, she was
I think it dropped down to second, did it?
Third, was it not? Did it not go off third favorite? I thought maybe that was just on the betting app I'm using. But
she fell. She stumbled like a fence before she fell, and it was just like, oh god, here it goes.
I was delighted though with what won it. Noble Yates winning it, and I said it before the race took off. But Sam Whaley-Combe, when they said it was his last race, he was retiring. I said, I always usually back a guy if he's retiring because it's just to have money on him in case he wins, and you're like, oh, I backed him, and it's great, he's retired, it's good now. But instead of that, I was sitting there going, I'm delighted for him, but fuck you cunt.
I was the same. I was sick because I seen that during the week that he was retiring, and I said, keep that in your head now. I'll back that now come Saturday. And I completely forgot about it. I was at a wedding and I was trying to watch it on my phone. And if you ever try to watch the Grand National on your phone, it's like
shocking.
it's
impossible.
Just it's absolutely impossible. I had like 3 horses backed, and I was looking and I was like, I have no idea.
Which one is it? There's 50 horses going here.
It wasn't until it was a line. It was like third is Delta Work. It's like, oh, that's mine. There's one of them.
I was so close to backing Delta Work, and I just said no, because all that was getting me to back Delta Work was the performance it put in at Cheltenham, and it beat the Tiger. Like when you beat the Tiger, I don't care how old the horse was. I know he was retired, but that horse won that race of Cheltenham last year, and he has 3 nationals underneath him. Like, I don't care how old the horse is, he's still a sub horse. Like, but it clicked in my head on the day of the national. I said, like, no, look, Tiger was on the way out. I'll do something else. And Fiddler on the Roof is one of the ones I always back. So he got me a bit of money. I got a bit of money off Fiddler on the Roof or entry last week. I was delighted with that. At least it was only 50 quid, but it was better than nothing.
Speaking of Tiger, did you watch Tiger Watch on the Masters for like 4 days straight? All the coverage was literally like, Tiger is moving to the second hole. Everyone follow him now.
I love him, man.
I love Tiger Woods, but Jesus, I was watching the last one. He was like plus 14.
Yeah, he had a bad day.
Like, he's so good. I was like, come on, that's like.
Look, the one thing I'll give Tiger, man. Do you remember the last time he came back from injury? Now, obviously, it wasn't as this was life threatening. Like, they thought he'd never play again. But like the last time he came back, it took him like 2 years before he got back to where he kind of was. And even at that, he wasn't peak Tiger, like, but he was still winning things. Like that was the time he won the Masters like 2 years ago or 3 years ago. He was kind of getting back to his best.
2019, wasn't it?
Something like that, yeah. So like, it's going to take him a year or two to get back to where he even was then, even if he can. But it was just great to see him come back like after that. Like, I don't care what people say about him, what happened in the past with the misses and everything. That don't bother me. Tiger is one of the all-time great sports personalities, and when he's done and when he retires, everyone is going to love him in the end anyway.
Rory did his normal thing of sucking it up for like a day and a half and then coming strong for the last day. Rory can't play golf unless there's absolutely no pressure on him anymore.
Oh, he's such a little prick, like, isn't he? Like, but you knew he was going to do it. You just knew he was going to win the last day. And well,
he sucks you in though, because every day, every Masters, you're kind of getting into gear. It's like, I might put a little bit of money on Rory. You know, he might do it this time. Day 2.
Nope, never ever once backed Rory McIlroy for any golf ever, because Rory McIlroy sucks ass.
Just 3-time major winner Rory McIlroy sucks ass.
That's right. He's a 3-time major winner who's been touted to be the best golf player of all time. They're putting him up there with the likes of Woods now. They give him his own fucking game. The man isn't that. He's not that talented. He's not that good. He's brilliant, but he's not at their level. If he was, the man would have 19 majors. Do you know, he don't. He's what age is he now? Like 32, 33?
Mid-30s.
Yeah, it's like it's done. It's done. He's not going to win another 10 majors by the time he's 40. He's going to be gone out of the game before that anyway. So
this is the
he's
man
going to have a shite legacy.
Cam Newton to come back.
Cam Newton won an MVP. That's harder to do than to win 3 majors in golf.
No, it's not.
Way harder.
Do you know how many people play golf in the world?
Yeah. Joe, how many players have MVPs?
Anyway, we're an NFL podcast. We'll talk about the NFL for a while, so let's hop into the news quickly. The news is pretty straightforward this week. We're just going to talk about the 3 contract extensions. So we have Derek Carr, Cooks for the Texans, and then Stephon Diggs. So basically, Derek Carr has agreed terms on a 3-year contract extension worth $121.5 million. Sources said the agreement to Carr is Las Vegas to 2025. He is already the longest tenured QB in the AFC. So for me personally, it just feels like the Raiders kind of went, meh, he's okay. We'll keep him for another 3 years. What do you think, Shane?
I think it's more of a kind of thing. Devontae Adams has come there now, and I'd say they're kind of thinking the two of them are like, they are really good mates. They played together in college and everything. I reckon it's kind of a thing. You know, he might be way better with Devontae there. Like, he might be what we drafted with the guy he had in college. Maybe we found the right recipe here. But no, I'd say
someone he's played with for years. Yeah,
just
give him his best mate.
he's still a bus driver to me. I don't think Carr wins the Super Bowl with the Raiders. I don't see it.
No, but there's certainly a ton of hype around him now, really, isn't there? You know,
there's a few AFC QBs have that on him now this year, don't they? There's a few guys who are after getting a lot of weapons or big contracts, and they're going to need to perform this year. But not everyone can get to that championship game that kind of says, "Oh, I did really well, like, for what I had around me." So
yeah, well, that's preseason hype, isn't it? You know, all these guys have preseason hype, and then he'll lose his first 3 games, and then we're like, "Oh shite, fight to pay him." or Devontae Adams will like break his ankle or something stupid will happen, and they're like, "Oh fuck."
But I don't think the money's going to affect Derek Carr. Like, Derek Carr wasn't a guy that people were looking at in Vegas or with the Raiders franchise in general that were saying, like, Raiders fans are going around saying, like, "Oh, we are going to win a Super Bowl this year with Derek Carr." Like, they've had him for X amount of years now. They're looking to the rest of the team. He's good enough to put him in position. He can have a few nice throws. He can play a nice game, but he's not a Jimmy G who's going to toss up interception at a vital moment in a playoff game. Like, now, saying that, Jimmy G probably has a better playoff record than him.
How many playoff games has he even played? He didn't play in 2016 because he got injured. He broke a bone in his back, so we had that crappy backup quarterback for that game against the Texans. And did they make the playoffs last year? Did they get hammered in the first round of the playoffs?
I don't know.
They won, didn't they? Did they win a game
the
in the playoffs?
They definitely didn't win a game.
I don't remember the Raiders winning a game.
Maybe
this is really bad. Like, we have obviously drank way too many brain cells away. We can't remember like 4 months ago.
I can't
Dan,
remember 2 weeks
I
ago.
don't remember. I don't remember yesterday, man.
In other news, then Brandon Cooks has signed a 2-year extension with the Texans. I don't know. Yeah, it's signing an extension with the Texans is basically like saying, I don't really care about winning football games.
I just want to be paid, and that's about it.
How much did he actually sign for in the end? Was it released how much he got in the end?
I couldn't see what. Like, I was searching Twitter there a minute ago trying to figure out how much he get paid, but it doesn't seem to be anywhere. I don't know. Did he get money? Well, he obviously got some money, but
did he get paid at all? He got in Bitcoin.
Oh, that OBJ story. Ugh. Everything OBJ does just annoys me. Yeah, no, I can't even find this handily whether stupid. Oh wait, no, here we go. So the Raiders did get through, and they probably played.
I think they played the. They definitely got hammered. They definitely got hammered after that, but they definitely won one game.
Yeah, they must have got the Bengals then. Yeah, so it would have been Bengals, Raiders, Bills, Patriots, Steelers, Chiefs. Yeah, that makes sense. That all sounds familiar. Yeah, so they obviously got destroyed by the Bengals, and we just all forgot about it instantly.
Yeah, and that was the end of that.
Good game,
and
then
good game. There was a big deal then with a lot of fantasy assets kind of implicated in it. So Bills reached an agreement with wide receiver Stephon Diggs in a 4-year, $104 million extension that includes $70 million guaranteed, sources told ESPN. That's a lot of money for Diggs, isn't it?
Nice.
Yeah, nice. He deserves it, really. He's been very consistently good for, 3-4 years now?
Yeah. Bills are going for that, aren't they? Like, they're definitely going for it this year. This is it. Like, this is why they're paying him. They're like, right, let's pay all the big boys, get our boys in, and let's go for that Super Bowl. Doing the Rams.
I think there was a bit of there was a bit of panic with Diggs with the Bills, I'd say, as well, because didn't Trayvon and Stephon both come out and say they wanted to play together in the NFL, and Stephon, his contract was nearly up, whereas Trayvon Diggs has got another 3 years at the Cowboys or 2 years at the Cowboys. Like he's not going anywhere.
That neatly segues us into, we're going to do a quick roundup of all of the free agent moves in the NFC, excluding the NFC North. We realized after the last show we spent way too long talking about the free agents of the NFC North, so we're going to try and just wrap the NFC up this week, try and do the AFC in one show next week of the free agents, and then we can get into the draft reaction. We haven't actually talked about this, but we might try and do a Twitch stream of the draft if we're awake at the time, and talk shite throughout the draft.
Yeah. Oh yeah, let's start drinking. This is it. This is where we become famous.
We will be kicked off Twitch so fast.
Well, when you start making terrible jokes about what's his name who got fucking cut by the Raiders again, who the fuck was his name?
I don't know what you're on about, man. I don't know what no recollection at all of what you're talking about.
Anyway, let's talk about the NFC East.
Pull the rug out under you.
The Cowboys, they re-signed Gallup, signed James Washington, meh. Tight end Jeremy Sprinkles, tight end Dalton Schultz was re-signed. DeMarcus Lawrenson agreed a new 3-year deal. Leighton Vander Esch re-signed at linebacker. Dante Fowler at linebacker as well, and Malik Hooker is back at safety. Just go through it there quickly, Shane. You're the Cowboys fan. What do you think of your free agent class?
Underwhelming as per usual with the Cowboys and free agency. They haven't really made a splash in years. I think Jerry Jones needs to take the reins back from Steven, or they just need to make Will McClay the GM in general and just two of them stay out of it from now on, because Jerry doesn't seem to want to be involved, and Steven, we don't have the cap when we have nearly 30 million in cap space sitting there waiting to be spent, and we didn't get anyone. Nobody. When we needed a linebacker, we brought back Leighton Vander Esch, the Wolf Hunter, who was absolutely shocking the last 2 years.
The
that
we
his
could have had
nickname? The Wolf Hunter.
That's what they call him. Yeah, the Wolf Hunter.
That is the worst nickname ever.
Have you ever noticed that
Wolf
when he gets a
Hunter.
tackle for loss or when he gets a stop on third down, the big wolf thing goes off in
That's
AT&T?
terrible.
The big
Fucking
"Ooh."
Twilight over here, the Wolf Hunter, like.
Yeah.
That's the most American reaction to someone I've ever heard in my life.
The Wolf Hunter. New York Giants have signed Tyrod Taylor on a 2-year. They signed Tyrod Taylor on a 2-year deal. Matt Breida, Richie James, tight end Ricky Seals Jones, and then a bunch of O linemen and D linemen who I don't know. This guy got fucking $20 million. Mark Glowinski, a 3-year deal.
Well done, Mark. Fair play, John.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a run at the Giants here and say it was a very meh class for a very meh team. Nothing here looks exciting.
Wow. Ricky Seals is not a bad sign. Not a great sign.
Ricky Seals is a fucking career-long third-string tight end, Jamie. Shut up.
We're just trying to. We can't all be negative, right? We need to
We
find
hate the Giants.
some sort of positive in these as well. You know, there's a lot of
There's
shite
no
here.
there's no positives when you have Daniel Jones at quarterback. The Eagles running back Boston Scott has re-signed. Zach Pascal signed on a 1-year deal. Greg Ward has re-signed on a 1-year deal. Jason Kelsey has re-signed at center. Fletcher Cox is back. They've signed Hassan Reddick. Ooh, I didn't know they'd done that. That's not a bad signing of linebacker.
That was a big move.
Yeah. I like Hassan Reddick for their defense, but their offense, they didn't really do anything. Just kind of got the same guys back, didn't they, really? Zach Pascal.
They're really needing, but they have a lot of picks in the first round this year. So I reckon the Eagles, they don't go defense. I reckon they load up on offense. I wouldn't actually be surprised if they did a Packers on it and took a QB in the first round while Jalen Hurts is there. I wouldn't put it past them.
I don't know. Maybe they just load up on more first-round wide receivers because it's been working brilliantly for them.
Oh, dick.
They need to go running back. They need running back.
What did they? Miles Sanders was a second-round pick as well, wasn't he?
He's a piece of shit.
Washington Commanders have acquired Carson Wentz in a trade. They've signed J.D. McKissick back. They have Cam Sims back. Oh, God, their team is awful. The NFC East is just shit. It's,
I'd be most excited there about the kicker, Joey Sly. I was like, that's a great sign.
We don't talk about kickers.
I'll rest the shite.
Yeah, Carson Wentz, man, that was one god-awful trade. What were they thinking? They could have got a one-legged Fitzmagic back, and I'd have been prouder of him and more afraid of them than what I will be with Carson Wentz in that division.
Where do we draft Terry McLaurin in redraft? Like, does he drop to the 4th? I'd probably take him with the 4th.
I'm not even taking him. Why would I take anyone? Look what happened to Wentz's receivers last year. You had his main guy in Pittman in our league, and he was shit.
I traded him away in the 4th week.
Why did you do that, Dad? Why would you trade away?
I could not turn down Brandon Cooks. Couldn't do it.
That was awful.
We're going to skip over the North. So NFC South, the Atlanta Falcons have signed Marcus Mariota on a 2-year deal. Oh my God, these quarterback signings, they're hilarious when you read them back.
He's the number one guy there now.
Yeah. I know.
And they're getting the number 1 pick next year.
Yeah.
That's what they're going for.
They've re-signed Cordero Patterson and Damian Williams at running back. Well, they signed Damian Williams. Tight end Anthony Fertzger. Yay. Wide receivers Demir Bird and Cardero Hodge. Odin Tate has come in from Cincinnati. A few offensive linemen, a few linebackers. Nothing. Oh, and then Young Huku, a kicker. Yeah, there you go, Jamie.
Go on, cool. Yes.
You mean young Waku?
Yeah, it's not young way. It's young ho. Ho. Young
Yeah.
ho, is it?
Yeah, but the Americans say young Waku.
That's it.
Yeah, but that's how the commentator announced them all year.
I'm not going to take the two Tipperary lads from the fucking south of Ireland over with the fucking pronunciation of Young Hoo Koo, like.
Yeah,
What are you
sure.
saying, boss? Huh?
We're all only speaking your language that you imposed on us all. So, like, look, we won't get into it.
Jeez, he made it a whole half hour without talking about colonizing.
You mean colonizing?
Colonizing, yeah. Sorry, you're better at my language than me, apparently.
Yeah, well, sure. Someone had to reteach it to you.
Hi.
The Carolina Panthers have signed Donta Foreman, Rashad
Good signing.
Higgins, re-signed DJ Moore. Jesus, all over the shop. And then, yeah, nothing else exciting. They signed a lot of players, didn't they? With
Yeah, well,
nothing
just
amazing.
for fantasy implications, anyone who is considering in a full redraft or a new fantasy or new dynasty or whatever, or you're starting up a new keeper, whatever you're doing, if you draft Christian McCaffrey, make sure you also draft Dante Foreman because you will need him week 2.
That's some solid advice, to be fair.
Actually, just play him week 1 because CMC will go down 3 snaps in.
Yeah, but he might have 3 touchdowns.
He'll win you that week.
3 touchdowns and 200 yards off 3 touches. The Saints have re-signed Jameis Winston. They've also signed backup Andy Dalton, wide receiver Traquan Smith, and then they didn't sign a whole lot on defense, but it looks like they're just firming themselves up, and they're going to take a push at it again this year. Maybe draft something decent then.
Yeah, they kind of need a good draft, but I still think the Saints end up with a better draft pick next year than what they have this year. I think they end up in the top 10 next year, even with Michael Thomas coming back.
If the Saints get Jameis back, they didn't really have him for a lot of last year. If they get Jameis back, they get Michael Thomas back. They've got Alvin Kamara. They've got a brilliant defense. They could make a bit of a run for it. I don't know if they'd have it in them to win the thing because Jameis will eventually implode, but it'll still be interesting.
How many top round picks did Tampa Bay have while Jameis was there? Like top 10.
Oh. They picked 8 and 9 a lot, didn't they? They were always kind of sitting around 8 and 9 every year.
That's my thing with him. I wonder, does it get to a point early in the season where he has a good few picks and Dalton just comes in to steady the ship to get him, kind of give him hope to get to the playoffs, and then they eventually get dashed?
I don't know. I think with Kamara there, at least there's some bit of a backup. So if it all goes to shit, at least they can just start running the ball. I
suppose, yeah. Everyone's throwing it these days. Look at Cedric Wilson last year.
Don't throw the balls, run it. Fuck
it. They'll never expect that.
Surprise! Kamara.
The Buccaneers, Tom Brady retired and then unretired pretty quickly after.
3 months at home, but Brady coming back.
Brady's coming back. Blaine Gabbert's coming back. Gio's coming back. Leonard Fournette's coming back. Russell Gage is signed. Chris Godwin got the franchise tag. Rashad Perryman re-signed. Geez, they re-signed a lot of people, didn't they? They're basically going again.
Yeah, they basically got everyone back. They got Keanu Neal off the Cowboys from last year, and Keanu Neal was probably actually one of the better linebackers the Cowboys had, but apparently he's reverting to safety for next year. So be interesting to see how he goes there for me being a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, they have him listed here as a safety. All right. The NFC West, then we have Arizona. We have nothing happened. Literally nothing happened. We got Colt McCoy. Yay. James Conner, we gave him too much money. We gave Zach Ertz too much money. We also re-signed Max Williams coming off the injury. And then, we also re-signed our punter, Andy Lee, just for you, Jamie.
I was just about to say it. You got a punter.
Will Hernandez is an okay lineman. That's a decent enough signing on the O line.
Yeah, but you just gave James Conner $7 million a year, and why would you ever pay a running back $7 million a year? You're gonna get injured now 2 games in.
Yeah.
The Cowboys give Zeke, what was it, $15 million a year, and sure he's still betting around the place.
He's useless.
He's not injured though. We're getting our money's worth.
Barely at this point.
That man is showing up and cashing them checks.
The Rams made everyone look like fools again, like they are capable of doing at any given time. They gave Matthew Stafford a new contract, gave him a nice tasty bit of money with $129 million. They signed Allen Robinson. We don't know how they did that. Gave him $46.5 million. Oh, Bobby Wagner. No, we'll have him as well, yeah. We gave him $23.5 million. Just because we can. So, they also got a punter. There you go, Jamie. Also got a punter. Riley Dixon.
And then they slapped a big IOU about $200 million in cap to the NFL.
I hate
Les Snead's eventually going to open his wallet in like 5 years and just pull out this IOU from 4 years ago to himself.
Oh, yeah, I meant to pay that.
The Rams are basically doing what Jerry Jones said he would do. He was like, if there was no cap, he would pay an obscene amount of money to win a Super Bowl again. Like, there's apparently no cap because the Rams are just paying everybody and they're being like, we'll sort it out, lads. How are they under the cap? How does this make sense? It doesn't make any sense. It's so frustrating. As a fan of any other team, everyone else is going to be looking at the Rams saying, if they win it again next year, I'm just done. I'm done. The Rams have to have like a cap of $100 million and everyone else gets $300 million.
Yeah, but they're fucked in for years, like, surely, eventually. Like, this cap is going to come back and hit them. Like, it has to. You know, like, I hope we're not here in 4 or 5 years' time, and next thing going, oh, Jesus, they did it again. They give Stafford another $200 million. And
it's like, so stupid, like.
It's not just like, I don't know.
I'd love to actually, like, I probably wouldn't understand the accounts of, I did see them, but I'd love to see just like a very basic summarized like explanation of how this works. Just someone put it in an Excel sheet for me and like have the in column and the out column show me how it's actually working.
It's so ridiculous.
The 49ers then signed JaMychal Hasty to a 1-year extension. Jeff Wilson is re-signing for a $1 million extension worth no money. They've signed Marcus Johnson on a 1-year deal and Ray McLeod on a 2-year contract for $10.5 million. They've also signed wide receiver Malik Turner in the last few days. Tight end Ross Dwelly is there now as well. Ross Dwelly is just the backup to Kittle anyway. He was there last year, wasn't he? And then they signed a bunch of quarterbacks.
Javarius Ward is the only one of note there that they really got. Paid him 3 years, $40.5 million. So
yeah, you think they're probably banking on the Garoppolo trade whenever he does get fit to try and get someone in.
He's not getting traded.
He's definitely getting traded.
He's not getting traded.
He will.
He won't.
Yeah, no, he's 100% getting traded. Like they took Trey Lance for free. Like there's no way they're not using Trey Lance. The Seahawks. Oh, jeez, the Seahawks have a long list of crap to talk about. And speaking of crap, they've signed Drew Lock in a trade.
Because why wouldn't you sign Drew Lock in the trade? What a man! What a quarterback! And they got so much.
Yeah, but like they're going for the number 1 pick next year. Like that's what this is going to be. This is a number 1 pick team next year. Like if the Seahawks win 2 games, it'll be a good season for them. Let's be real about it. Like I reckon before week 8, before the trade deadline, DK Metcalf is gone out of that side as well. They're not going to have any star quality inside in that team whatsoever. They're done.
It's very hard to have star quality when you have Drew Lock throwing the ball, though, you know.
Yeah.
Another man who sucks ass.
They re-signed Rashad Penny after his good year, so they gave him $5.5 million. Will Disley is back. I don't know how that man keeps coming back from injury. Like, he must have like no muscle left on that bone. They also got tight end Noah Fant in that trade where they gave away their franchise.
Noah Fant could be a great tight end. Though. That is the one thing with Noah Fant. Like I thought he had to get away from Drew Lock to be a good tight end. So
I was about to say, could you
imagine?
Imagine he gets the call. It's like, oh, you're getting traded to Seattle. He's like, yes, Russell Wilson. Then it's like, oh no, he's coming here, and but Drew's going with you. You guys can get the bus together or whatever.
And Drew's just sitting on the couch beside him, and he's like, oh jeez, I can't get rid of this bastard. He's like, yay, let's go, Noah. We're going to Seattle.
Oh.
Slap hands.
Oh.
None of the other Seahawks moves make any difference because they gave away their franchise quarterback. So there's no point talking about anything else.
Poor.
That brings us neatly to the end of the NFC. We actually got through that pretty quickly when we went through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see. It was all very negative, though, to be fair.
Well, that's because they all
suck.
Like, bar the Rams this year, there's nobody coming out. Well, the Rams and the Bucks. If the Rams or the Bucks don't win the Super Bowl, the NFC will not have. Obviously, there'll be no one else to win it for the NFC. Go to the AFC next week. Tune in. Listen to all the great teams we have to talk about because the AFC is just amazing.
And some breaking news, guys. Packers have got a wide receiver.
Who'd you get?
Sammy Watkins.
That's
the most Packers move. Yeah, that's the most Packers move you ever heard in your life, isn't it?
You're never allowed to break news again.
They're definitely drafting the quarterback now.
Did Sammy have any good weeks last year with the Ravens? No Ravens have good weeks, but anyway.
He showed glimpses, but
Sammy Sammy had like 3 good weeks with the Chiefs.
Yeah, that was like 7 years ago.
Yeah. Don't ever interrupt the podcast to get to break such shitty news. I could have waited till next week.
I thought everyone wanted to know, Joe, that the Packers have signed a wide receiver.
No, we went 1 week.
This is why everyone tunes in.
No, we were going 1 week without mentioning them.
That was never going to happen, let's be fair.
It's an NFL podcast. We're probably going to hit Green Bay a couple of times.
No.
We'll move on to the trades then in the leagues this week. Who did we see? So we saw a trade for Gabe Davis. So Gabe Davis and a 2022 first for a 2022 first, a 2022 third, and a 2022 second. So it's essentially just, Gabe Davis for a second and a third. I don't hate it. You're kind of trying to capitalize on Gabe Davis being the 2 in Buffalo, and the 2 for Buffalo with Josh Allen's probably a decent play. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose, but I don't know.
I think we'll learn more about this trade after the draft.
Yeah, it's like Gabriel Davis. I wouldn't be that high in Gabriel Davis, to be honest. What do you have? 1 good game, and now everyone thinks he's a star wide receiver.
He came on hard. He came on hard in the playoffs, didn't he? I think that was kind of.
He did, yeah. But,
was that phrasing or something? Was it?
Yeah, phrasing, dude.
Jesus, lad, man.
He said it, and then he said it again, and I was like, "Oh my god, he's going to say it again." It's been
another trade. Kai Undergrace trades. What do you do? It was Dawson Knox from Michael Gallup. I can see the advantages of both. If you need a tight end, Dawson Knox not a bad one to have, and Michael Gallup coming off the ACL. Yeah, I don't mind it. I'd be if I needed a tight end, I'd be happy with Dawson Knox, so I don't mind the trade at all. You guys?
Well, Gallup's not going to make the start of the season, so you're going to miss. They're talking Gallup could miss up to 6-7 weeks, maybe at the most. So you're going to be missing Gallup for the first good few weeks of the season, so it depends what you're doing. Hey, that's my dog.
For
I know
anyone
all
who's
of
not
you
watching
out
the
there
video,
can't see our screen, but Dan just put a picture of my dog up drinking a pint of Guinness.
we have a few Tyreek Hill related trades this week, so we'll go to the first one here. Sylvius Beta traded Tyreek Hill. No, sorry, he acquired Tyreek Hill and the 205 for this year, and sent away Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the 105 for this year, and the first round pick next year. So 2 firsts and Clyde for Tyreek Hill and a second. That's a lot to kind of
very high in Tyreek Hill, like.
It's hard to kind of, but like Clyde Edwards-Helaire is muck as well, though. Like it's very hard to decompress what's happened here. Like,
yeah. So I wouldn't take Edwards-Helaire anymore. Like, no way. If you had this trade, I would have just told him to take him out. I'll just take the picks. Like,
yeah.
You don't.
Yeah. See Clyde Edwards-Helaire, just take him out of the deal and give me another second.
Don't mind him. Yeah.
Because Rojo's there now as well. Like, you just don't know how that's going to work.
Yeah, you don't know what's going to happen with Tua and Hill. It all depends on Tua. This could be a great trade. If Hill really does start to play well with Tua, but like, it's a toss-off. Like,
Look,
this season's going to be a lot of. Yeah, it's going to be. This season's going to be a lot of. Is Tua good enough to hold everyone up here?
Yeah, no. Look, I could see that, but like if you're just talking Tyreek Hill, his production is going to go down. Like you can't. His value has to drop a little bit here. Like he is still worth the first round pick. Like I don't mind the 105 for him. This mid-round pick for a top receiver, but he's not going to be. I don't think he's going to be competing for the number one receiver at the end of the year. Like I don't think he's going to be up there with Jamar Chase and Devontae Adams, probably. Like even though Devontae is probably going to take a loss in production as well, I think those two guys are still probably the guys you're going to be looking at. Maybe Stephon Diggs, those kind of top three. I don't think Hill is going to be in that conversation this year. I think he's going to be down a bit, maybe 6th, 7th, in around there. Just because he's losing Mahomes, and also because Tua seems to have a really good relationship with Waddle, and Waddle was the most targeted receiver on the Dolphins last year over the last 8 or 9 games or something. So like I'd fancy that to increase as well, because Waddle's no slouch either. I think he's going to be pretty good signing for him. So he's pretty good going forward for him. So I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I don't know. Hill for me, I think his value is going to drop a little bit now. And saying that, I'd agree with Jamie to take out Edwards-Helaire, and we have a deal with just the 2 picks alone.
Yeah. Edwards-Helaire was not needed.
Jesus, yeah. Even from week 6, Waddle starts getting the targets. Like week 6, he got 13 targets in week 6. So it goes 13, 8, 11, 10, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 7, 7. Now, these are all crappy targets like that.
Yeah.
Because
I had him last year, man. I'm telling you, like in our keeper league, we were talking about keeping 2 guys, and obviously the King was going to be one of them, but Waddle was going to be my second. It was going to be Waddle or Stafford I was looking at keeping out of that league, just because I'd rather not have to pick up a QB.
Yeah, but the depth of target isn't a lot like the yards per target. It's like, so from that same period of time where he goes for when he starts getting all those targets, it goes like 5, 10, 2, 8, 10, 7, 13, 8. Like the depth of target is tiny. It's obviously just, run a button and
get
the pass.
There was a lot of that. But what really impressed me about Waddle is he's only 5'10", and he ran a lot of goal line stuff for him as well. Like within 10 yards to the end zone, he was very dangerous at times for the Dolphins. Any of the games that I kind of saw of him anyway. He was
I suppose.
really impressive. Now I have to say, but again, they didn't really have anyone else, so it was fairly kind of handy
Yeah, like,
to double
like you
cover
gotta
Waddle.
think it was an awful team last year, like a
Yeah.
terrible team. They didn't have anything. They weren't going to throw it at anyone else. Waddle was the only man they wanted to get the ball to because he was the only man who could do anything. So now that they've Hill, like both those shares are going to just split in half.
I
You would
think Waddle,
imagine.
man,
You would
Waddle's one of them
imagine in the
guys this year. Jamie, sorry now. Waddle's one of them guys this year. I think Tariq Hill is going to get so much attention that Waddle, for the amount of targets he got last year, I think his target share could actually go up because Hill is going to be covered, and Tua isn't the guy to make a throw into double coverage. Like he's not your guy that's going to squeeze that ball in there. Like
could very
Well,
easily happen.
I imagine if Tyreek Hill is, taking the 9 route every time, taking the deep routes, like he's going to take a lot of attention. He's going to that's going to bring safeties back, going to spread out the field a bit, so Waddle can actually work in that space a bit more. Like he might lose targets. Like I don't know if he's going to lose that many targets, but he might lose targets, and the production could go up massively purely because he has more space to run in, because he is electric when he has the ball.
I think
Miles
the best.
Gaskin won't be taking carries, so
I think it's one of them rare situations where, as a wide receiver, another wide receiver has come in. He's replaced you as the number one guy, and it's probably better for your career at this moment in time that he has done that. And your production will go up because you're going to be freer. You're going to have more opportunity to score. Your offense now has more weapons in general. So it gives more options to the team, and it lets you. It gives you a higher chance of scoring, I reckon, because he's going to have less attention on him. Now, I'm hoping that the Hill stays fit at least.
It's like the year that Juju played opposite Antonio Brown, and Juju had massive production purely because Antonio Brown was getting all the attention.
Yeah, that is almost an exact replicated situation, I'd say,
yeah. We'll move on anyway, because Waddle wasn't even in that trade, and we talked about him more than anyone else involved in it. Okay, so Ross J. Mullen has acquired Dalton Schultz, a 2023 first-round pick and a 2024 first-round pick. So 2 firsts and Dalton Schultz. And he sent away Travis Kelce, Amari Cooper, Hilliard, running back for Tennessee, and a 2024 fourth-round pick. And I'll hop in first, and then I'll throw it to Jamie afterwards. But I would love to have sent away Travis Kelce and Amari Cooper and gotten 2 firsts and Dalton Schultz. Because to me, Travis Kelce, you're going to get great production out of him for the next 2 years. You might only get great production out of this year, and he could start to fall off a cliff after that. You've gotten Dalton Schultz, who's a decent tight end, a usable tight end, and you've got 2 first-round picks. And Amari Cooper is going to go and play with Baker Mayfield with Deshaun Watson. It is decent. You're going to lose the first 6 games of the season probably because of the court case. And I just don't have any faith in Amari Cooper. I'm sorry. I've never bought into him that much. Jamie?
Yeah. I wouldn't have traded away Kelce, to be honest. I think tight ends in the fantasy situation are just too hard to get, especially like a top tight end that's going to be giving you kind of wide receiver value. I wouldn't have given away yet. I would have held on to him, especially I would have tried to get someone a bit better than Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz obviously decent tight end, but he's not top end tight end. Your 2 firsts are good, obviously. But you're not going to draft tight end with those. You're going to obviously picking up a running back or a wide receiver or whatever he needs. You're right about Cooper. I don't think he's going to do much because what's Watson going to do in the air? I don't know why is he even in there, to be honest. That's just to pack up a trade, and the fourth has been nothing really as well.
Amari Cooper's one of those players that I'll never draft again purely because I had him for a couple of seasons once, and he's so hot and cold that like it'll be 20 points, 1 point, 20 points, 3 points. And then I said I bought in again the next season. It was the same crap. And I just decided, no, never again. Doesn't matter how good Amari Cooper is, what round he falls to, I was never draft him again. And I know, Shane, you probably have a different opinion being a Cowboys fan.
No, I really like this trade, actually. I was totally on board with you, what you were saying. Schultz, I reckon, with the loss of Cooper from the Cowboys, Schultz's targets and everything, I think will go up, especially, as I said earlier, Gallup is looking likely to miss the start of the season. So I think Schultz is going to be an important part of that offense for the start of the next season. You got 2 first-round picks. I reckon Kelsey, you're right, his production is going to go down. And that every defense playing Kansas City now, they're going to be looking at him saying, well, you don't really have anyone who could take us over the top anymore. So that will just allow them to drop a safety down into the box a bit more, make life a bit more difficult for Kelsey. I think his production goes down this year. I think Cooper going to Cleveland, look, Baker Mayfield is going to be probably the quarterback for the first couple of games of the season. The guy isn't great. Odell got out of there. Jarvis Landry hasn't done anything great, even though he's a really good receiver with Baker. Deshaun Watson coming back after a layoff of a year. How good is he really going to be? Again, Cooper doesn't like traveling. He's a hometown player, plays in front of his own crowd, and that's it. Hilliard, who cares? 4th round pick, who cares? I'd say Ross J. Mullen got Schultz in the 1st round picks. I'd say that was a good trade for him.
You're not talking, Dan.
Dan, you're muted.
You're not talking, Dan.
Yeah, dude, you're on mute there. We didn't hear a word you said. Hey, JB, I like it like this. So, this week...
I made my screen big so I could see just the video call, and then I forgot that I left it on mute. I had to try and get out and unmute it. It was near impossible for me.
We are professional here.
Yeah, we know exactly where the mute button is at all times. I'm not even going to make the point I was making now because it's gone. I was just saying that if you are competing, though, Travis Kelce is a great piece to get if you are going to go for it this year.
Yeah, but the other two aren't.
No.
All right. J-Rodzilla has acquired Daniel Jones. Why did you do that? It's just silly. Has acquired Daniel Jones, Terry McLaurin, and Trey Sermon, and sent away Aaron Jones, Matt Stafford, and DJ Chark.
The fuck is that?
That's like a good Irish influencer came out with and said, "Whose horse is that?"
What is it doing?
Jamie, you seem to be opinionated about this one. Go on.
I don't understand this at all, to be quite honest. Well, why would you trade away to Aaron Jones and Stafford? Like, for Jones, and they obviously have a good quarterback, I presume, and a good running back, or they're just high or something. I don't know. Like, yes, I agree with trading away Aaron Jones for someone at this rate. I don't think he's going to be as high this year as he could possibly. And stuff, and AJ Dillon are going to just suck points off each other like they did last year. So I wouldn't go near him.
I think Dillon could be taken over as well. I think they kind of liked Dillon more by the end of last year.
Dillon's more productive. John, he gets more yards. He's more explosive. Jones acts more like a wide receiver at this point. You know, but anyway, with the trade, I don't know. I really can't match anyone to anyone here. These are just Sharks thrown in for good measure. Like, he's not going to do much. I suppose McLaren, if we're looking for positives, might do something maybe, but then he's off Carson Wentz.
I was looking to try and get McLaurin on the cheap in another fantasy league, and it's not easy to get him on the cheap. I thought I might be able to kind of snag him because of the Carson Wentz news and just hold him for the year until Carson Wentz kicks out of town. But no, people still don't want to trade McLaurin low, so it's still kind of hard to buy him on the cheap.
This is very fucking high, so way too high.
It was insanity. That's what that was. It was just
Is that a nomination for the bit
no.
over the
Look,
barrel?
it was this. There was three that were really close this week, but this one it didn't quite make it. Now, what I will say was Stafford was what number 5 QB overall last year in fantasy. Aaron Jones is what was he the 2 or the 3 guy last year for running backs? Shark, he's probably going to be the best option to try to have next year. So I'd be kind of high on all of them guys for next year. But what you got back
I
in
wouldn't have
return?
thought Jones got near 3, did he?
Jones was high, man, as a running back last year.
He wasn't that high.
He was high. He was
That's
definitely
funny.
man had to be top 10 minimum.
He was top 10, but he wasn't that high.
Oh, come on. Had to be higher than just the top 10.
No, I had him. He was top 10, but he wasn't that high.
Dan, that list is definitely wrong because
yeah, no, I saw it in my points there. So Jonathan Taylor, Austin Eckler, Joe Mixon.
He was
Najee
10.
Harris. You called him like top 3.
Yeah, well, whatever, man. He was fucking up there, all right?
Yeah, but he does not feel like a top 10 running back when you have him in your fantasy league.
I think that's because he's actually top 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, he's exactly 12.
See, I told you he didn't feel like a top 10 running back.
Yeah, so in what I was saying, the guy finished number 3 last year.
if you ignore the 9.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry finished at like 16 and he was injured for half the season.
That man is he is just the best. Like I see the fantasy ranking tier of running backs like 2 days ago, and the guy had Henry as a C tier running back. I was like, this guy has to be high. He had Christian McCaffrey as a 1A guy up there with Jonathan Taylor. I was like, there should only be Jonathan Taylor or Derrick Henry as 1A. No one else should be there. That's getting off point, but
we're calling a lot of people high in this episode.
Fucking it's disgraceful.
Kai Undergrace has gotten Julio Jones and traded away a 5th-round pick, 2 5th-round picks. I don't mind it. Like you're rolling a dice to see this Julio land in a decent spot, really, and get one more year out of him.
Nah, next this trade did nothing for me.
All right. Just for a bit of background here, Shane has decided he wants to bring in a segment where he basically says you got bent over a barrel in a trade. So he's just going to be an asshole to someone for 5 minutes as he rants about a trade.
This week,
with that knowledge in mind, we're going to tell you this trade.
This week, we have our number 1 contestant for being bent over a barrel. Walk him on down to me, Dad.
Okay, so in this trade, it's a big trade, so everyone listen intently. Juju Smith-Schuster, Calvin Ridley, Sanders, the 202, and a 1st-round pick for Leonard Fournette, Cooper Kupp, Trey Sermon, 3rd-round pick this year, and a 3rd-round pick next year. This is the second time we've seen Trey Sermon this week. Was there Trey Sermon news or something? I don't know. Anyway, I'll walk it back. So Juju, the current number 1 in Kansas City. Calvin Ridley. We don't know. Did he get banned for the year yet? I don't know if he's banned for this year.
I think he is.
Miles Sanders. A 2nd-round pick this year and a 1st-round pick next year. Leonard Fournette, Cooper Kupp, Trey Sermon, a 3rd-round pick this year and a 3rd-round pick next year. So you've traded a 3rd this year for a 2nd this year, a 3rd next year for a 1st next year, and then I suppose you've kind of done Cooper Kupp for Calvin Ridley and Juju. Miles Sanders for Leonard Fournette, and then Trey Sermon to me is kind of a throwaway part of it. When I break it down more, like obviously Shane, you're saying that the side that gave away Cooper Kupp's getting bent over. That's the side you're coming from, is it?
Oh, 110%. You got bent over a barrel. They are
The
getting.
more I break it down for parts, it seems if you go
I
parts, it
don't
doesn't
think it's
seem
as
bad.
bad.
No,
It's terrible. I don't think
this,
it's bent over the barrel bad.
Yeah, it is. Watch right when you look at Juju Smith-Schuster, the man can't run. There's tight ends that will outrun the man, right? He's useless. He's gone off a boil. He's not going to do anything in Kansas City. Terrible. Gone. Calvin Ridley, he's not even playing next year. And when he does come back, he's to play for the Falcons. Gone. Useless. Sanders.
They might be good by then.
They won't be. They will not be. Sanders, I had him on last year. He was absolutely useless. He's not even the RB1 there anymore. Probably not going to be starting next year. Gone. Useless. You get the 202. All right, fair enough. Good enough draft pick. You get the first round pick next year. It's not going to be a low first round pick. Therefore, gone. Useless. Leonard Fournette is probably going to be one of the better running backs this year. Brilliant trade for him. Cooper Kupp, I reckon with Stafford there, he's going to be vying for the number 1, 2, 3 kind of slot there. Trey Sermon can only improve off of what he done last year. He'd probably end up getting a lot more touches. You're getting the 305 again. I don't really care much about it. And you're getting probably an early third round pick next year because that team that you just traded to, unless they have the best wide receivers in the league, the best running backs in the league, they're going to be bent over a barrel.
I think what's happened here is that this team is in a complete rebuild by the looks of it, and they wanted the first round pick and the second round pick. So is Calvin Ridley. If you get him back in 2 years with a decent quarterback for the Falcons, I'm not too worried about that. Fournette could fall off cliff very quickly. Well, he'll have this year, like you say. It's the Cooper Kupp thing that would annoy me. I wouldn't want to give up Kupp. But as you were describing it, Shane, I suddenly came to the realization that these 3 players, you hate all of them. If you could make a trade that Shane would hate, it would be put those 3 players in it, and Shane would hate it no matter who you traded for.
I'm not too bad with Calvin Ridley. The other 2, yeah, they are desperate. Like, but I'm objective about my hatred. Like, they're just they're hated because they're useless. Like, I have nothing personally against any of them. They're just shit, right? They're terrible.
I think if you took Cooper Kupp out of this and just replaced him with someone a little bit lower tier, it makes a little bit more sense. I think it's the fact that they fired away Cooper Kupp for some odd reason for basically Juju, like, is just mind-boggling.
Didn't you see a trade last week with Cooper as well?
Yeah,
I think
there was.
We were talking about that last week as well.
There was some people are getting rid of Kupp for some odd reason, and
I think it's probably the set. Yeah, I think it's probably the sell on the big season, but
but like sell him for big, like
it's not
sell him for the world. You know, not sell him for the world.
One world, please.
Stafford is going to stay good. He's not going to plummet off a cliff. Stafford has been consistently good for his whole career. He's just had to deal with Detroit.
Yeah, fair point.
We'll move on then from the barrel.
Noise.
There's a lot of Aaron Jones trades today. So Jacob Rich was traded Aaron Jones away to get James Robinson and a 2023 first. So I don't know. Can you really buy into James Robinson? He had the bad injury at the end of the season. He's got Travis Etienne there. To me, it's kind of more you're trading for the 2023 first.
Don't mind it. The man could always come back and prove everyone wrong. I like the upside in the trade. You know, you're getting the first. You're getting a player who we know is a good running back, but just dependent on coming back from injury. And as we were talking about earlier, Aaron Jones's production has gone down. Like, you know, it's probably the right time to sell on Aaron Jones. So anyone flipping Aaron Jones right now is, if you can get a first round pick back, I think you're winning, even if the player you're getting is a bit dodgy. You know, if you're getting a good first round pick, I think that's good quality there.
Yeah, I think it's totally right. I would be trading Aaron Jones, and Aaron Jones is like my favorite football player in the world. So that's like big thing to me because I have Aaron Jones and I probably will trade him at some point this year. Like
It's the running backs of a certain age. You start to get into that kind of dodgy territory, don't you, where they could just disappear at any given moment.
and I'll just start crying because I love the man so much.
Cedro has acquired Mooney and a 2022 first round pick, the 107. And he sent away Lamar Jackson and a 2022 fifth round pick, the 505. That's
am I correct
I'm
in
not saying
saying
you, Shane.
did this CDRO trade for a QB earlier though? Did he get a QB earlier? I think we just covered that. Or was he not the one who got Daniel Jones?
Didn't he? Yeah.
Was he the Matthew Stafford trade?
I think he might have been, but he traded away Matt Stafford, did he? No, sorry.
No.
He was the Cooper Kupp trade.
He was bent over the barrel.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah, he got bent over the barrel.
No quarterbacks, yeah.
Yeah, so like this to me again, look, I know I gave Lamar Jackson a hard time either on the last episode or the episode before this, but I gave Lamar Jackson a hard time as an NFL quarterback, not so much as a fantasy prospect. I get why people draft him. He will get you points. He'll run. But the dude, he's not going to throw it too much. Like, you know, you're relying on his legs to get you points. And I still don't think Lamar Jackson should be one of the first 5 quarterbacks off the board. I think after 5, you're grand. But there's at least 5 guys I'd probably take before Lamar Jackson. In saying that, Mooney, you're not getting much back for Mooney. You did this for the first round pick. You know, that's what this was done for. And I'm not going to complain about it.
Is Mooney the one now in Chicago at this stage?
Yeah, but he's useless. You know, like and plus, who's throwing the ball? Justin Fields. Like that man. Like he didn't show us he was any great shakes last year. Unless he becomes like some insane player over the offseason, I am not drafting nor trading for Mooney. He can kiss my ass. It's not happening.
He's obviously tanking his season this year and going for next year.
Oh yeah,
you better win next year because you've given over a lot.
But he just what did he see? So this could be in 2 different leagues. I'm not sure, but I'd say it's probably in one. He's gotten a first round pick and Mooney there, but didn't he acquired Kupp and?
No, he gave him away, didn't he?
I think
maybe I'm wrong, but I thought he gave him away.
Where the hell is that trade gone? Sorry, take me a second to get it. Oh yeah, no, he gave them away. Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, he must be blowing it up then, is he?
Oh, 110%. That has to be what this is. So in general, this week, CDRO, send us on your information. We're going to send you out a bent over the barrel t-shirts.
Don't be promising people t-shirts, okay? We're not making any money from this yet.
I've been bent over
God damn it, Dad, I want t-shirts.
Congratulations.
Trying to build a website for these leagues here. It's costing me a good bit of cash, and then you're offering people t-shirts like
Jay's giving away merch.
T-shirts up on the website, man. People will buy the bent over the barrel t-shirt, and then for every 2 that we sell, we can send one out for free.
Jay's will just buy thousands of barrels, mini barrels, barrel keychains, and
that'd be such a good idea.
We could give a like trophy. Shane with like his hands bent over the barrel.
There's probably some sick individual who would enjoy me bent over a barrel on a t-shirt. I don't know who you are, but
okay, let's move on. Fairly fast.
Drewby 6 has acquired the 101 pick in the 2022 draft for Tyreek Hill. So Breece Hall for Tyreek Hill is what we're looking at here, essentially, isn't it?
Well done, Drewby. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Shane, what do you think?
Yeah, this was there was a tight finish for second and third in the bent over the barrel competition, and this was I think finished third for me. I think we had one other trade to beat this one out, but this is very close to be bent over the barrel for me this week. I think Tariq Hill's production level is going to go down, and I think Hall is going to be a really good asset to have. Dude is looking like he's going to be one of the top running backs for a while to come if everything goes the way people say it's going to go for him. So I would have kept the 101. I'm sorry. I don't, as much as I would have want Hill on my team, I think I keep the 101 unless I have like unbelievable running backs on my team and I don't need to draft Hall.
Yeah, like it depends what he has too. Like, you know, if he's got backup wide receivers there, sure, why not? You know, give him away.
Druby 6 was the overall winner last year, so he won like the overall tournament. We have his team here.
He won last year, and he got the 101 this year.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk in the league chat. The rich get richer, all right.
I like it. This guy is my kind of guy.
No,
he's got Joe Burrow at quarterback, Josh Jacobs and Mitchell at running back, Devontae Adams, DK Metcalf, Travis Kelce, Deebo Samuel, Michael Pittman, Tom Brady and Derek Carr sitting on the bench, Tevin Coleman, Mostert, Devontae Booker, Kenyon Drake. So the backup running back is a bit weak. All right, I'd say that's why he's moved Hill to go and get Hall essentially.
Makes sense to fair to him.
There's certain fancy footballers
there as well.
There's certain fancy footballers out there that are going to be copying this bit of the podcast, lowering down the volume and turn it into some sort of ASMR because that team is filthy. Jesus.
Yeah. That's the kind of thing. It's kind of this thing you listen to in the bath with some candles and some smooth jazz.
Sweet jazz.
On the note of sitting in the bath listening to sweet jazz, I think we're going to finish this off and end the podcast. I don't think we can come back from that. If you want to get into any of these dynasty leagues, you can just contact me on Twitter. I'm at DanFFman. Jamie is at Jim Jam the Monk, and Shane is at Shane Carroll 953. And then the show's podcast is at IF Punts. Thanks for listening to guys. It's been an hour and 7 minutes on my clock here, so you've really stuck in for the long haul. So Jamie and Shane. Jamie and Shane, say good night.
Night, lads. Talk to you next week.
Adios.
Talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.